Welcome back to Yahoo Finance. You are watching our coverage coming to you from Cannes, France, where we're at the Cannes Lions Festival of Creativity. Brad Smith here with Brian Sozzi, and we've got a great guest here with us right now, Rajamannar, who is the Mastercard Chief Marketing and Communications Officer, as well as the President of Healthcare at the company. Thank you so much for joining us here today.
Thank you very much for having me here.
Absolutely.
Much appreciated.
So you have a lot of customers who may be swiping Mastercard out here, but you've got a lot of business-to-business customers here as well. Take us into the pulse of your conversations and what you're hearing from a conference like Cannes.
See, first and foremost, I think Cannes is predominantly a marketing festival, right? So people are focused on creativity, they're focused on ad technology, marketing technology, the agency models, and how budgets are likely to be squeezed for some of the companies because of the probably expectation of recession or inflation not subsiding enough and so on. And I think the conversation essentially were a reflection of all these. Plus, of course, there is the technology play always with the AI, particularly with generative AI coming in now. There is a lot of hype around it and a lot of discussion and a lot of concerns as well in terms of the ethics and how the whole thing is going to shape industry, the IP issues and so on and so forth on the one hand. And on the other hand, talent is always an issue. And this actually is one of the best places as hunting grounds to find the top talent, and then you try to have conversations with them and see if you can attract them into your own company. So it's been a series of wonderful conversations and excellent meetings throughout.
You're a big spender. You have a big ad budget.
I wish so.
Oh, okay. Well, how do you plan to spend?
Please don't tell my CEO this.
I understand. We understand the financial dynamics. We'll say you have money to spend. Let's put it that way. How are you spending it in later this year compared to 12 months ago? Or do you have that concern given where the economy is?
So, I actually seriously say this, which is that we are a huge brand, but we are not very, lavish in our spending. We are very conservative, we are very thoughtful. We measure ROI of every single thing that we are spending. We connect the dots between the marketing actions and the business outcomes. And so that diligence is really very helpful to us, and therefore we don't sort of have these wild swings which are sentiment based. We have our plans laid out well in advance. We stick to the plans. We can either dial up or down a little bit either way, depending on how the circumstance is, whether it is the competitive pressures sometimes it's economic pressure, or sometimes some new things are happening in the marketplace. So as far as we see, we are continuing to be on an upswing, which is the good news. And even in a relatively recessionary kind of a situation, consumers are not going to stop spending. On the one hand, the basket changes, the mix of things in the basket change. But for example, if you look at travel is not slowing down. And all of us who came here to Cannes, we saw the ticket prices. Whether it is
our bosses saw the ticket prices.
Exactly, right? So you have got those kind of things on the one hand. And on the other hand, you also have culinary, anything to do with eating out. Mm-hmm. That's going through the roof. So there has been a significant uptick in terms of people eating out. Experiences are being sold out like anything. I'm talking more of live entertainment and so on. So there are certain areas which might be paring back a little bit, but there are others which are compensating. So overall, I think we are not slowing down in terms of our marketing plans, and we are of course constantly fine-tuning.
The mix of products and services that people buy into has changed, as you acknowledged a moment ago.
Correct.
But how they spend, that's also changed as well. They're leaning into or tapping less of their cash, perhaps. They're leaning more into Mastercard. They're leaning more into their credit card. Their debit card is perhaps something that they reserve for necessities, whereas their credit card, something that says, let's just have a bridge. What are you seeing in that type of consumer spending action?
So two things. Firstly, the way they are spending has significantly shifted through the pandemic. Right? In pandemic, people were forced to go digital, even if they were not digital before, or people like me who were already doing spending online to make purchases, but only for certain categories. And categories like groceries are never bought before pandemic online. But then, when I was forced into that situation, I had to buy groceries. When I started buying groceries, I discovered how easy and comfortable it was, and how safe it was too. So therefore now, even post-pandemic, I continue to do shopping online even for my groceries.
Are groceries making Mastercard more profitable then?
No, our profitability models don't depend on necessarily which category you're spending on. It's all, there are a whole mix of things. It's not a straight one-to-one correlation. But the point is that digital spending away from cash and checks has accelerated tremendously during the pandemic because of the circumstances. Post-pandemic, when things are coming back to physical, still e-commerce has not slowed down.
One of your largest competitors, let's say they have a blue card. We'll leave it there. They've gained a lot of customers, sub 25-year-olds, whether that's maybe Gen Z or whatever it is. Is there a marketing battle for this customer, and why is this such a lucrative customer base, and how are you marketing to them at your company?
So, firstly, there is intense competition in this category of payments across all the segments. If you look, for example, the silver segment, as you call people beyond 65 years, they have huge disposable incomes. They have a lot of net savings by and large. And if you think about the spending pattern, these are the bigger spenders than the other demographics. But your future is dependent on the younger demographics. So everyone is competing for those, and that includes Mastercard as well. And what we try to do is, whichever segments you are, we look at 10 passion points in your life. Music is a passion point, sports, entertainment, you have got fashion, you got philanthropy, you got sustainability, shopping, travel. So we got 10 of these passion points, and we try to figure out which segment is responding to what passion point more, and within a given passion point, which sub areas more.
Raja, thank you so much for taking the time
Much
here with us
appreciate
today.
having me here. Thank you. Great talking to you both.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it.
And you've been watching Yahoo Finance and Cam. We've got much more coming up.